All right, let's switch gears a little bit because it is sort of a bittersweet time of year when summer draws to a close and the school bells, they start ringing. And this transitional period can bring a gambit of emotions ranging from excitement to apprehension. So here to talk about how to manage that stress is mental health professional and our friend, Dr. Surat Bhargave. Hello, Dr. B.
Hello, Kara. I swear that's a great intro.
Is it good?
Pay
Okay.
attention.
Are you inspired?
Yeah, I am inspired. I'm motivated.
Hey, I can't believe that movie came out 30 years ago. It makes me feel a little bit
Yeah,
old.
let's not
but,
do that.
Okay.
Let's not do the math.
All right, let's not do that. Okay. You know, I've been talking with my friends a lot lately about we all have kids at different stages of life, going back to school, going to college, empty nesters, and it really is such a stressful time for many of us families. So, what is something that you can tell us to get us ready for all these changes?
Well, I think the first thing I want to say is it is normal to worry.
Okay.
So it's okay to worry. Take a deep breath and know that times of transition in particular can really trigger anxiety for a lot of people. And on top of that, school is stressful for a lot of kids and for a lot of young adults, right? So, and in terms of what kids worry about, I think that depends on the child, depends on the circumstance. But young kids, for example, they worry a lot about separation, let's say, worried about being away from their parents. So those morning drop-offs can be really difficult, right? Where they complain about stomach aches or feeling sick, those sort of things. There are some kids who worry a great deal about social issues. So they're concerned about fitting in. Will I have someone to talk to? Will I have someone to sit with? Those sort of things. So many kids worry about test and performance anxiety. So the concern about doing well this year, or letting their parents down, having a teacher that they might disappoint, those sort of things. And then bullying is still an issue for a lot of kids. Concerns about being teased and fitting in and cliques and those sort of things. And then really the other thing to mention about kids who worry is that there are some kids who are going through a trauma right now or have been through a trauma. And what I mean by that is things like a death in the family or a divorce in the family, and a health issue, something they've heard on the TV that's made them worry. So the real message today is take a moment, find out from your child what their specific fear is so that you can find out how to help them.
Well, I was going to say too, and it could all be manifesting as my stomach hurts, and it could be all those things that you just mentioned. So how, as parents, do we help our child if they're really, experiencing that anxiety about going back to school?
There are some specific things we can do as parents, and the very first thing that we can do is be curious and offer empathy. So encourage your child to talk about what their fears are, encourage them to talk about their feelings, really find out what it is specific to your child that they might be worried about. And there's a lot of great opportunities to listen, right? Depending on the age of your child, maybe that's during bath time, or perhaps that is during when they're sitting in the car with you, or for some kids it has to be one-on-one attention that they get from you. So the first thing is be prepared to listen and know your child. The next thing I would say is I'm going to lump together as kind of make sure about the basics. Make sure they're eating well, make sure they're getting enough sleep, getting adequate exercise. We can approach and tackle our fears better when we come from a healthy headspace. So make sure we're doing those sort of things. The other thing I'd say to parents is problem solve with your child. Once you know what it is that they're specifically worried about, help them come up with a coping strategy.
That's so good, because I think a lot of times it's the unknown, and maybe you can work it out together and you can help them figure it out.
And when we get anxious, it's hard to think straight. So while they're feeling anxious, you're going to represent what it means to think it through with statements like, well, if that does happen, what would you do? Or let me help you think through how you might handle a situation like that. And then when you're done with all of that, here's the real important step. Make sure that they focus on what is positive right now. Because a worried mind, a ruminating mind tends to only look at what's negative. And it's really important to shift your mind a little bit to what is positive right now.
You're so wise, Dr. B. I know you don't need me to tell you that, but I could listen to you all day. Okay. And I know that the kids too can pick up on what we're feeling. So how do we keep ourselves not stressed and manage our own anxiety while trying to make sure we do all the right things for them?
Well, certainly parents worry a lot during this back to school season as well, right? But there are some things we can do to manage our own stress. I think I want to start with the thing that I just said about kids. reminding parents there are positives right now in this situation. So overwhelmingly and by and large, kids do well once they've transitioned into the academic year. So remember, this is a time where your child is getting educated, becoming independent, learning their way in the world, discovering things about themselves. This is a good time. Let's remember to stay positive. The next thing I would say is do something about your fear as a parent. Remind yourself that the schools have resources not only for kids, but for parents as well. So you've got school counselors, you've got teachers who want to help your anxiety as much as the child's anxiety. So make an appointment, get involved, and if you need to, even think about reaching out to a professional, a therapist or a counselor. And then know your support system. And find another adult that is a trusted person you can talk to. This is a time to lean in. So whether that's a life partner or a friend or a family member, do that. And then you and I talk about this all the time, but self-care, 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 right? Practice what works for you. Deep breathing or listening to music or reading a book, becoming more active, whatever that is, you have to take care of yourself before you can turn around and take care of your kid.
Oh, I love that, Dr. B. And I think something you said too that I'm going to take with me is creating the community to make yourself feel better about the whole school year as a whole, because you kind of need those friends and those people that are going through similar life circumstance to, you know, be with you.
And I think sometimes that is someone who's going through it just like you are. Sometimes that's someone who's already gone through it who can help you there too, right? So you and I are there for each other in very different ways, but on the other side of parenting young kids, there's some things I would now offer you that I couldn't have known back then.
Well, I'm so grateful for you, for our friendship, but also that he can be here with all of you. So thank you so much, Dr. B. It takes a village, and we're happy that you're part of ours. All right, we've got this parent.